So hello, hope you're well and staying fresh at home. Um, as you know, we've been sharing some ideas about how to be mindful, be creative, be expansive, even with the constraints of your own home. Around the world, situations change, things easing up a bit. But even if you are still constrained in your home, I want to suggest to you that it could be really, really helpful to connect with nature. Now, we often think of cities as kind of the opposite of natural, but street wisdom very often start by trees, and there's a reason for that. Not least for the fact there is the word tree in street. The word tree in street. There's a little poem at the beginning of Wonderful, written by Philip Cowell, who's our poet in residence, who pointed out the word street has the word tree in it. And what I wanted to do is step out of the house and see what we can do when we connect to nature, even in sort of quite a humble form, the humble tree in the ordinary street. So let's go, let's try this. The outside world. There's a tree, there's a baby tree. Trees everywhere, how lovely. I mean, London's a very tree-y city. But even in less leafy towns, you'll find yourself a tree. The thing about the trees is that people who are connected to the natural world and the spiritual world beyond it tell me that trees are typically thought of as the repositories of memory, of human memory. So they're like absorbing our memories. And I love that idea. The other idea that I love is that the body of the tree doesn't end at the bark here, but extends 13 feet beyond. I love the fact it's 13 feet, not 12, but 13 feet. Sounds very scientific. So what it means is that when you're standing here about, I don't know, I should know, it should be 2 meters away, but let's say I'm socially distanced from the tree. I'm actually not. I'm connected with it. I'm sort of standing in the tree. And as we know, our bodies also extend beyond our skin. So in a way, the tree and I are commingling in a way. So that's the first thing to think, is you connect with nature. When you connect with nature, you become more natural. I certainly feel, just looking at it, looking at the tree, just feel like, yeah, I'm a bit of a more natural person. I've lost some of that laptop and, lockdown David. I'm a little bit more in my natural state. And then the thing that I want to suggest you do is there's this Qigong, there's this, this tradition called Qigong, which has this central pose in it, which is, it's difficult to do with a microphone, but basically it's called standing like a tree, and just soften your knees. And when you soften your knees, and I suggest you do it now if you're standing out there in a street, just soften your knees, and you imagine that your feet have got roots, just like the tree. You sort of mimetically connected with the tree, and you imagine that your feet are extending down into the earth, connecting down as the tree's roots. The word radical linked to the word root. So this is some radical mindfulness in an ordinary street. Beautiful. And reciprocally, as your energy is going down into the street, below the pavement, into the lovely loamy soil beyond. Loamy, that's not a word I've used today, but there it is. First time, maybe the last. In a reciprocal way, you go up, you let your attention go up to the tree canopy, feeling up, 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 up. And I'm doing that now. As those of you who've tried the exercise where you let the camera zoom about above your head, it's sort of almost like doing that. And I'm looking down on David from the tree canopy, and that in it, just in itself, rooted to the ground, reaching to the sky. The tree is like teaching me to be a more natural, more connected person. And that takes about 2 minutes. So I'm going to suggest you try it. Elsa's wandering around. Come back here. So I suggest you try that. See what that's like.